Hello, sir. Santanam, sir. Sir, Santanam, sir.
Yes, madam. Yes.
Sir, shall we start, sir? Because some of them are viewing in the YouTube as well.
Okay, madam. Sure. We'll start.
Okay, sir. Sir, there will be a formal introduction and prayer song, sir. After that, you can share this.
Okay.
Our world is built on biology, and once we begin to understand it, it then becomes a technology, says Ryan Vandenhout. Good morning and greetings to all virtually connected here. We are excited to welcome you all to the second day of workshop on microalgal technology, organized by Marian Star Center, Department of Botany, and sponsored by Department of Biotechnology, New Delhi. Faith and prayers are the vitamins of the soul. Man cannot live in health without them, says Jackson. Let us begin today's session with the blessings of Almighty. Prayer song.
When you've prayed every prayer that you know how to pray, just remember the Lord will hear, and the answer is on its way. Our God is able, He is mighty, He is faithful, and He never sleeps, He never slumbers, He never tires of hearing our prayer. When we are weak, He becomes stronger. So rest in His love and cast all of your cares on Him.
Respected participants, due to some unavoidable situation, our Arthur James session has been cancelled. Today we have Dr. Sandanam with us to discuss. The soul should always stand ajar, ready to welcome the static experience, says Emily. It is a moment of extreme pleasure to welcome our resource person, Dr. Santanam, our beloved secretary, Reverend Sister Flora Mary, Principal, Dr. Sister A.H.J. Lucia Rose, and Deputy Principal, Reverend Sister Kulande Teres. I wholeheartedly welcome our beloved HOD, Dr. M. Glory, and overall coordinator, Dr. Sister Arukya Genesius Alpha. I also extend my hearty welcome to the department coordinators, professors, scholars, and all the participants. It is the right time to introduce our resource person to you all. Dr. Dr. P. Santanam is currently working as an associate professor in Department of Marine Science, School of Marine Sciences, Bharathidasan University, Tiruchirappalli. He has completed his MSc, MPhil, and PhD in Marine Biology from Annamalai University. He has over 16 years of teaching and 20 years of research experience. His area of research expertise include taxonomy, biodiversity, biology and biochemistry of marine plankton, ecology and ecotoxicology of marine plankton, nanobiotechnology and bioremediation efficacy of marine plankton, mass production and application of marine plankton as live feed in aquaculture and sustainable aquaculture practices, etc. He has received several awards, honors, and recognitions, including Young Scientist Award by DST, Best Researcher Award by KTSTM Trust, and Professor M. Aruchami Award by Konganadu and Arts and Science of College. He is serving as an advisory committee member for many reputed organizations. He is serving as a reviewer for major research project proposal submitted to DBT, Government of India, and Kerala State Council for Science, Technology and Environment. He is an editorial board member of 5 national and international journals, and reviewer of 25 national and international journals. Dr. P. Santanam has received totally 10 major research projects funded by various funding agencies like UGC, DST, DBT, MOEF, and CC, CIRC, Government of India, and Tansky, Government of Tamil Nadu, with total budget of rupees 475 lakhs. He successfully completed 7 major research projects, and currently 3 projects are ongoing under his investigation. So far, he has published nearly 267 research articles, including 170 research articles, 5 books, 4 manuals, 1 monograph, and 87 chapters in books. He has submitted more than 60 gene sequences on microalgae and copepods. So far, he has guided 8 postdoctoral fellows, 18 PhD students, 14 MPhil, 82 MSc, and 3 BTech students, and currently guiding 2 postdoctoral fellows, 8 PhD students, and 15 MSc students. The book entitled Advances in Marine and Brackish Water Aquaculture, edited by Sandhanam et al. And published by Springer, is rated as one of the best marine biology books of all time in the world. We are fortunate to have you with us, sir. Once again, I welcome you all for today's session. Dear spectators, I respectfully urge you all to turn on your camera for the photo session. Please switch on your cameras.
Madam, can I share my PPT?
Sir, please turn on the camera. Yes, sir. Just a second. Before that, we have to take the group photo, sir. Just a second, sir.
Okay, madam.
The participants, kindly switch on your videos. Thank you, dear participants.
May our minds be open to the delights that can be revealed through science and technology. Now, without further ado, I will turn the time over to our eminent resource person, Dr. P. Santanam, to share his knowledge with us. Sir, the session is yours. Sir, can you please share your screen?
Yes, madam. Let me wait.
Okay,
Share
sir.
my PPT.
Okay.
No. Hope my PPT is visible.
Yes, sir, is it visible, sir?
Whether the slide is moving.
Yes, sir, it's moving. It's moving.
So may I audible now?
Yes, sir, your voice is very clear. We can start.
Okay. Very good morning, everybody. At the outset, I would like to convey my sincere thanks to the authorities of this esteemed St. Mary's College, Thoothukudi, especially the Department of Botany, very particularly the principal, secretary, the head of the Department of Botany, the organizing secretary of this particular workshop on microalgae technology, and the other faculty members of the Department of Botany, and my dear fellow participants. It gives me an immense pleasure and privilege to be a resource person of this workshop. I am very happy the Department of Botany, the St. Mary's College, organizing an important webinar on very important topic, that is microalgae technology. Microalgae is nothing but a unicellular or multicellular tiny plants living in aquatic ecosystem, which has lot of ecological and economic value, starting from oxygen production to the medicines or drugs against the cancer. It is reported in microalgae. Such a nature gifted plant living in aquatic ecosystem or marine ecosystem is microalgae. Thanks to my head of the department, Dr. Arthur James, for suggesting me as a resource person for this session, because he is supposed to give this lecture, but due to NIRF work, as he is a coordinator of this NIRF of our university, he is busy with submitting the application or the data to the NIRF, so that he is not able to deliver, so that he deputed me to give this talk. So dear participants, the topic on which I am going to speak for another 45 minutes to 1 hour, that is nothing but harmful algal blooms, causes, impacts, and mitigating strategies. I don't know how many of you are from the marine background, or of course this botany and zoology is very close to the marine biology, because the marine ecosystem is one of the largest ecosystem among the ecosystem on Earth, which has lot of potential, and of course the 71% of the Earth's surface is covered by the ocean. Likewise, the 97% of all available water on Earth is salt water. So this is the uniqueness of the marine ecosystem. As a marine scientist, I am just focusing my talk on the marine microalgal blooms. What are the causes of microalgal blooms? What are the impacts the microalgal blooms, algal blooms are made in the ecosystem and the human being, and also how to mitigate or control these algal blooms. The algal bloom is actually, as you know well, the algae is good for ecosystem, because the algae is a primary producer, is the basic energy or nutrition to the entire organisms living in the all trophic level, starting from the zooplankton to human being. Unfortunately, the same algae, when they become abundant level, when they outburst, they turn into the toxic, and it will create some adverse effect to the marine organisms, and also the human being, who is the end consumer, end user of the seafood commodity. So with this brief background information, let me start my lecture with the introduction about the marine ecosystem, because I don't know, maybe the participants belongs to the botany or zoology or biotechnology, microbiology. Anyway, it is my duty to brief about the importance of marine ecosystem first. Then later I can move on to the impacts or causes of blooms, harmful algal blooms, and their mitigative strategy. So, as you know, well, the marine ecosystems are the major backbone of life on Earth, because the marine ecosystem constitute the largest source of habitat and also the biodiversity, and the marine environment supports the employment and livelihood for the billions of people around the world, because the seafood is the cheapest protein source so far known, and even the marine ecosystem, more than 50% of the oxygen is produced by the marine ecosystem. The oxygen is very much important, as you know well. It is a gas which we are using for our respiration, but fortunately the 50% of the oxygen is coming from the marine ecosystem. Marine ecosystem means the plants living in the marine ecosystem, including phytoplankton, seaweed, seagrass, mangroves. They combinedly produce more than 50% of the oxygen available in atmosphere, so that we are living without any problem. Similarly, more than 25% of the available carbon dioxide in the atmosphere taken up by the marine ecosystem and converted into the good gas called oxygen, available on the atmosphere for the respiration, human respiration. So microalgae are the basic food in the food chain or food web. If we talk about the food web or food chain, the microalgae is a base of the food chain or food web, because it's a primary producer. If no phytoplankton or microalgae in the aquatic ecosystem, not only aquatic ecosystem on Earth, no animals, no fish, no mammals, all organisms depending on the microalgae for their energy, for their food. Okay, so in this context, the microalgae is a good source of nutrient recycling and gaseous exchange. However, unfortunately, these microalgae, when they become dominant, that too, especially these few microalgae species like cyanobacteria or blue-green algae, dinoflagellates, some species of diatoms, when they become an abundant level, they can turn into toxin, or otherwise it will lead to the oxygen anoxic condition. Because of this reason, starting from fish larvae to mammals living in marine ecosystem, they are adversely affected because of algal bloom. So because of this reason, the algal bloom is termed as harmful algal bloom. There are different types of algae, harmless algae and harmful algae, that we will discuss in coming slide. So do you know the total public health impacts from harmful algal bloom, HABs, harmful algal bloom? It is cost around 18 to 25 million US dollar. Because of algal bloom, the economic crisis is happening. That too, 18 to 25 million US dollar economic loss is caused by the harmful algal bloom because of failure in fishery and failure in tourism because of harmful algal bloom. And it represents approximately 45% of the total economic impacts of any country. So this is actually the importance or the effect of harmful algal bloom in general. Okay, yeah. Now let us see what is harmful algal bloom. What is harmful algal bloom? So yeah, harmful algal bloom is nothing but slide is not moving. Slide is not moving. Move on. Okay, move on. Yeah, sorry for some technical issue. Yeah, now let us see what is harmful algal bloom. So harmful algal bloom is nothing but the rapid growth of microalgae that can cause harm to people, animals, or the total ecology of the aquatic environment. Total ecology of the aquatic environment. And when the harmful algal bloom occurs in the marine ecosystem, it looks like foam, scum, paint, or mats on the surface of water, and it can be different from colors. It has different colors. Okay, so these blooms can produce toxins. I will explain what are the toxins are produced by the microalgae when it forms algal bloom, and these toxins make people and animals sick. Blooms occur in both freshwater and seawater, and also brackish water environment, such as rivers, lakes, and saltwater bodies such as oceans, seas, or bays. There is no restriction for habitat. The harmful algal bloom is occurring in both freshwater, brackish water, and seawater. Yeah, this is the if you just collect the sample from a marine ecosystem where the harmful algal bloom is occur, you just take one drop of water, not even a 1 ml of seawater. If you take one drop of water and put into the slide and observed under the microscope, it looked like this. This much abundant growth of microalgae can be reported when algal blooms occur in the marine ecosystem. Yeah. Before going into the real the topic of today's discussion, let me briefly explain about the historical harmful algal bloom event, the past algal event. And according to the published data, almost all maritime countries, they are facing the harmful algal bloom problem. Because of this harmful algal bloom issue, they are losing a lot of economy, and the country economic is coming down because of failure in fishery, failures in tourism due to the harmful algal bloom. So if you can see in this list, the USA, United States, France. These are the countries are where the frequent harmful algal bloom is reported. Whereas in India, so far up to 2015, of course 2020, more than 10 harmful algal bloom events are reported. So if you talk about the harmful algal bloom event in India, when compared to East Coast, the West Coast is more prone to the harmful algal bloom, so that we are losing our precious fishery resources in West Coast. And if you talk about, Madam, may I audible now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So if you find any
Yes, sir.
problem in my
Yes, sir, you're audible.
video, you please call me so that I can.
Okay, sir.
And yeah, you can see in this graph. This graph shows the number of harmful algal events by syndrome. What is syndrome? Due to harmful algal bloom, if the human being, if we consume the fish or any seafood which harvested from the place where the algal bloom is occurred, if we consume that fish, finfish or shellfish, we will get some health disorders. There are different disorders are reported so far that we will discuss in coming slide. For example, DSP, PSP, ASP. These are the syndrome which is reported because of the consumption of seafood which is harvested from the place where the algal bloom is reported. So when you look at the different syndrome, the DSP, diuretic shellfish poisoning, followed by paralytic shellfish poisoning. These are the major syndromes reported so far globally because of algal events, harmful algal blooms in the human being. And the number of harmful algal events by nature. The nature means the seafood poisoning reported because of consumption of the seafood captured from the algal where the algal bloom is occurred. For example, due to toxin, because of seafood toxin, more mortality is reported, death is reported among the human being, followed by high density of phytoplankton or water discoloration or other reason. So it is clearly shows that when algal bloom comes in the marine ecosystem, if the fish or any seafood available in particular area will die. If we consume that fish which have the toxin produced by the algae, we will get some health disorder that we will discuss in coming slides. Yeah, this graph clearly shows that the incidences of marine microalgal blooms around the Indian Peninsula from 1908 to 2017. When you compare to different microalgae, there are different microalgae, as you know well. We have green algae, Chlorophyceae, blue-green algae, Cyanophyceae, then Dinoflagellates, Dinophyceae, Diatoms, Bacillariophyceae, and Coccolithophores or Silicoflagellates. We have 5 groups of phytoplankton or microalgae. Among the 5 groups, there are 3 groups such as Dinoflagellates, blue-green algae, or few species of diatoms are causing the blooms. So when you just look at the past history, among the different microalgae which cause the bloom, the Dinoflagellates is standing first, which is producing more harmful algal bloom than any other microalgae, followed by cyanobacteria and diatoms. So this is group-wise harmful algal bloom, where the Dinoflagellates is producing more algal blooms when compared to other microalgal blooms. Yeah. The seasonal occurrence. Is there any season to the algal bloom occurrence? Yes, there is. That algal bloom occurrence is season dependent. And according to the published report, the marine microalgal blooms were most pronounced during the pre-monsoon season, followed by southwest monsoon season. So pre-monsoon season is the most favorable season for the algal bloom occurrence. That means the environmental condition and water quality conditions exist during pre-monsoon season is most suitable for the algal blooms occurring. So this is season-wise algal bloom. Then distribution of marine microalgal blooms around the Indian Peninsula. We have categorized 2 types of algal bloom. One is non-harmful algal bloom, harmful algal bloom. There are some microalgae which can also cause algal bloom, but that is not toxic to the human or marine organism. There are some algae which cause the algal bloom is harmful to the animals and also human beings. So this graph shows so far There are 154 microalgal blooms are reported globally. 154 microalgal blooms, but most of the microalgal blooms are caused by the Dinophyceae or dinoflagellates, followed by Bacillariophyceae or diatoms, then Primnicioophyceae, then Cyanophyceae or blue-green algae. So this is the world data. So when you look at the species-wise harmful algal bloom, among all the harmful algal blooms recorded so far, the Noctiluca, which is a famous dinophyceae, dinoflagellates, the Noctiluca is a very common species which can cause blooms in marine ecosystem, followed by Trichodesmium, that is comes under the Cyanophyceae. So Noctiluca is a dinoflagellate which is cause frequent algal blooms globally, followed by Trichodesmium. For example, the most of the algal blooms happened so far. There's nearly 34.4% of the harmful algal bloom caused by Noctiluca, whereas the Trichodesmium caused 31.8% of the algal bloom so far globally. Now let us see when did a harmful algal bloom occurs. You can see in this picture there is a red color. That is nothing but the indication of algal blooms. Wherever you can find the red coloration or discoloration of seawater with the red color, not only red color, it has different colors. I will explain later. Let us see when did harmful algal bloom occurs. So harmful algal bloom occurs when toxin producing algae grow excessively in a water body. And as you know well, algae are tiny cells that live in aquatic environments and do photosynthesis. And this harmful algal bloom, it is visible to the naked eye. When algal bloom occurs, it is very visible to the human naked eye with different colors. For example, you can see it can also come in green color, blue-green color, red color, orange or brown. These are the different coloration of the blooms. So this coloration mainly depending upon the species which cause the algal blooms. So based on the species, the discoloration with the different colors like green, blue-green, red, orange, brown. And please keep it in your mind that not all discoloration in ocean is not a bloom. Okay, maybe that discoloration may also caused by the discharges, the pollution, the wastewater discharge from the domestic area or industrial area can also make the discoloration in seawater. So that not all discoloration of the sea is not a harmful algal bloom. Similarly, not all harmful algal blooms are causing discoloration. This is you should keep it in your mind. Yeah, you can see here it is a red color, orange color, green color, and somewhat musky red color. These are the different colors of the blooms. This is mainly based on the species. Then let us see what causes harmful algal bloom. The causative factors. Most harmful algal blooms are caused by three important types of phytoplankton, as I explained earlier. First one is cyanobacteria or blue-green algae, then dinoflagellates or dinophyceae. Third one is diatoms or Bacillariophyceae. These are the three major groups of species which can cause harmful algal blooms. Some other species from which comes under the Chlorophyceae and Primnicioophyceae, they may cause blooms that is non-toxic to the animals or human beings. Yeah, let me show some species which is already we have reported. One of my student, PhD student, Dr. Balaji Prasad, he worked on this aspect, bloom forming microalgae, and how to mitigate the algal blooms using some techniques that we will explain at the end of our lecture, the last part of my lecture. So let me tell what are the species. Not all algae are causing bloom. Not all microalgae are causing bloom. Only few species can cause blooms, algal blooms. So this is Nichia longissima, which comes under the diatoms. Carcinodiscus centralis, again this is the diatom. Then Skeletonema castratum is the diatom. These are the diatoms. And the Spirulina, then Anabina, and Microcystis, Aeruginosa. These are the some important, Oscillatoria and Microcystis. These are the some species which causes bloom, algal bloom. Okay. Centra. Yeah. Then you can see here Lingbaia species, Osteonodopsis glacialis, Euglena, Odentella mobiliensis, Basilaria paradoxa, Bellirochia malleus. These are the some diatoms which cause algal bloom. And you can see here the Rhodomonas, Anabina, Aponocapsa rivularis, Trichodesmium. This is Trichodesmium and Synechococcus. These are some common species which can cause algal bloom. And you can see here, when algal bloom occurs in the marine coastal area or marine seawater, this is the discoloration of seawater when algal bloom occurs. You can see this is the algal bloom discoloration caused by the Euglena. This is discoloration caused by Acetoria. This is a discoloration caused by Trichodesmium. And you can see Carcinodiscus Lingbaia. And you can see here the microcystis is a cyanobacteria, blue-green algae. When it caused the algal bloom, it looked like this discoloration. There are a lot of fish skill also reported. And you can see this is the discoloration happened because of Noctiluca blooms. This is the discoloration of Aponocapsa, Odentella. So when algal bloom comes, the discoloration is happening in the seawater. With this discoloration, we can identify this area is prone to algal bloom. Yeah. Actually, as I said earlier, there are different types of algal bloom. One is toxic, non-toxic. Okay, among the toxic group, based on the level of toxin produced by the microalgae during algal bloom event, it is categorized in two types. One is toxic, other one is potentially toxic. So here, according to various reports, we have identified that amphora, it is a diatom. If caused the bloom, it is the toxin content is domoic acid, and you can see here different species. It is categorized based on the level of toxic concentration. It is categorized as potentially toxic and toxic. So among these, the Microcystis aeruginosa, of course, the Noctiluca, they are toxic, and Pseudonychia, Dinophysis, these are the potentially toxic. So this is mainly based on the level of toxin produced by the microalgae. Yeah. So in our observation, as I said, my student, he collected the microalgae from Thoothukudi backwater. It is located at Chennai. He isolated and identified some algal bloom causing bloom forming microalgae. Among the bloom forming microalgae, he identified that harmful microalgal bloom, harmful species, that is microalgae which cause harmful algal bloom. So among these, this Dinophysis caudata, Noctiluca scintillans, Protopyridinium, Lingbaia, Microcystis aeruginosa, Anabina, Amphora cophiiformis, and Pseudonychia. These are the microalgal species which can produce harmful bloom during the bloom event. Yeah, you can see when we observe the bloom, actually there is a discoloration with the Microcystis aeruginosa. You can see a lot of fishes are killed and washed ashore because of this toxin, because this toxin is produced by Microcystis aeruginosa cyanobacteria. And this is our own research. Dr. Balaji did his PhD on this aspect. See, what is the causative? Actually, if you go to the Chennai via ECR from Pondicherry to Chennai, there is a place called Thoothukudi where Central Institute of Brackish Water Aquaculture ICR Institute is located. Most of the time is that the water is discolored with green. That means the tourism activity, that boating and the tourism activity is a major reason for the algal bloom happened in Thoothukudi backwater, that we have actually reported and we also published in good journal. Okay, now let us see why do harmful algal bloom occurs. What is the reason for occurring algal blooms? Yeah, the major reason, the environmental condition, very particularly temperature, the warmer water temperature is positively trigger the harmful algal bloom. Then next important factor, the excessive nutrients available in the seawater because of discharges from the industrial and domestic area, the excessive nutrients called nutrient pollution or eutrophication, which can cause algal bloom. And very recently, it is reported that due to climate change, the frequent algal bloom is happened globally. Even in India, in recent times, very frequent algal bloom is reported both in West Coast and East Coast. So this slide clearly shows that the causating factor for algal bloom, temperature, nutrients, and climate change. But originally, till today, these are the predicted causative factors. But till today, the scientists are trying to identify the original reason for bloom forming that is yet to be identified. So still learning more about why harmful algal bloom is occurred. Because in the natural environment, not a single factor is involving. There are multi-factors. There are several factors can involve. When the microalgae get favorable conditions, they can suddenly outburst and produce the toxin and cause the algal bloom. So, however, the reason, the expected or predicted reason is temperature, nutrients, and climate change.
From the aquatic ecosystem.
Yeah, and this video you can see.
In algal blooms, the great increase in the growth of algae population in aquatic ecosystems, both in fresh and
so this video clippings clearly shows or explain why harmful algal bloom is occurring.
Nutrients are abundant. Phosphorus and nitrogen are the main ones. These nutrients usually come via runoff, nutrients including animal waste, fertilizers, sewage from the land. Algal blooms comprising of biotoxins, it causes extreme discoloration via their specialized pigmented algae cells. There are three basic types of colors, i.e. green, red, brown, and yellow. Water bodies affected by the algal blooms are mainly targeted by cyanobacteria, blue-green algae, and red types, red algal blooms. These nutrients come from lands and farms that are heavily loaded with nitrogenous and phosphatic fertilizers. Rain is the primary that wash away all the nitrogen and phosphorus from soil all the way to water bodies, rivers and streams leading to oceans and sea. Poor sewage treatment and raw untreated sewage also act as primary source that causes algal bloom. Water pollution, primarily the discharge of poorly treated or untreated industrial waste into waterways, also leads to the dense growth of algae. Due to depletion of the ozone layer, it results in global warming, which in turn causes rapid growth of algal bloom. Exceeding high temperatures have led to rapid decomposition of the nutrients, the one that promotes algal blooms. Other reasons may include the presence of dead matter. Some bacteria, i.e. algae bacterium, is facilitated by the presence of dead organisms in the water. Along with the nutrients in the water, the dead organic matter fuels the growth of algae in water, leading to an algae bloom. Coming towards the possible effects algal bloom impose on the environment. They produce toxins that reduce the suitability of water for human consumption. Strong irritation, itching, and even skin diseases are the common effects on humans when they come in contact with algal bloom. For aquatic life, they are havoc. All aquatic organisms depend on oxygen present in water, so as the algal bacteria. Hence, producing competition for oxygen, the algal blooms create an imbalance and cause the suffocation of aquatic animals like fish. More death of aquatic animals means more food for the algae, leading to a faster propagation and, in the long run, deterioration of aquatic life. The presence of extensive algal blooms can result in a massive death of aquatic life. As a result, the area around algal blooms will be a dead zone for the dead animal and plant life alike. These dead zones are the areas declared for not supporting aquatic life. Economically, it also makes transport of waterways cumbersome, leading to more expensive means of transport such as air. Some industries, for example, food processing companies, only require clean water from water bodies to drive their production. Solutions to resolve the issue include proper sewage treatment, reducing water pollution, and dumping industrial waste properly. Limit using fertilizers and search for eco-friendly alternatives, and using hydrogen peroxide against algal blooms is proven effective. A modern way to fight against the bloom is via ultrasound beam treatment. It uses ultrasound waves to find out the water areas with blooms and reduces their growth by up to 90%. This does not impact aquatic life at all. This is our environment, and we, as humans, are responsible for keeping it in a state that can support life.
So I hope you understood what are the causative factors for the harmful algal bloom. So now let us see what are the harmful effects caused the harmful algae. Okay, So when harmful algal bloom occurs, it consumes the oxygen, available existing oxygen in particular place where the algal bloom is occurring, and it creates the dead zones. Okay, why it creates the dead zone? Actually, when algal bloom occurs, that algae, they have massive algal biomass. It's a massive algal biomass. To when algae die, the available bacteria in the particular area, they can take existing oxygen for the respiration to decompose the microalgae. So that the oxygen dead zone is created. Due to lack of oxygen in the particular area, the fish and all marine animals, they are dying because of suffocation. So the algal blooms are not only creating the toxin related issue, it is also creating the anoxic condition. Because of anoxic condition, the animals are dying wherever the algal bloom is occurring. So, and also the other adverse effect caused by the algal bloom, it created the dead zone, and algal blooms, it blocks the sunlight. When algal blooms occur, it will create a mat-like substance in the surface of the water, so that algal mat, it won't permit the light to penetrate deeper. So that because of the lack of oxygen, light, the available other phytoplankton, they are not able to photosynthesis, so that it creates the dead zone. And also the harmful algal bloom release the toxin that will contaminate the water. And this toxin, when the fish and the other marine organisms, when it consumes the algae, that available toxin can transmit to the fish and other trophic level organisms. Because of this, all animals living in particular area where the algal bloom is happening, all animals will die. And likewise, when we consume that fish, shellfish or finfish, and we will also have some health disorder that we will explain in coming slide. You can see when algal blooms occur, it will create the discoloration like this, and all fishes and seabirds, mammals, they can dead and wash to the shore. This is actually real situation happening in the marine ecosystem when algal bloom comes. And you can see the red tide. This is a red tide. This is green tide with the green color, and this is yellow tide, and this is orange tides. This is glow tide. Even glow tide, recently in Chennai, it is reported during night tide there is a colors light emission in the sea. That is because of the dinoflagellates. The dinoflagellates are bioluminescent organism. When it become a bloom, they can also emit light during night time. It is called glow tide. So these are the harmful algal bloom. These are the examples of harmful algal blooms which can have severe impacts on human health and also aquatic ecosystem, and it will directly or indirectly affecting the economy of any country. Yeah. Is algal bloom good or bad? So actually algal blooms, definitely it is bad. However, it is also doing some good things. It is also doing some good things. Let us see what are the good things is happened because of algal bloom. When harmful algal bloom comes, the algae, most of the algae are harmless, that is harmless algae. It is a good source of feed for fish, or it is a good source of feedstock for biofuel, and it is a good feedstock for the animal feed and other production. And as you know, well, microalgae is one of the plant which consume more carbon dioxide available in the atmosphere, so that when algal bloom comes, that available atmospheric carbon dioxide will be taken by the microalgae and control the climate change or global warming. So one way it is doing good thing. It is producing biomass, which is a feedstock for fish feed, animal feed, or poultry feed, or whatever it may be, and it's a good feedstock for biofuel production and other medicinal production, even medicine production. And another way, it produces toxin which can be harmful to the people and animals. It is doing both good things and bad things. Okay. Are there the algal blooms are good? In what way the algal blooms are good? You can see whatever I explained. Bloom forming algae, they become promising feedstock for drug development. As you know well, the microalgae is a potential biomaterial for the development of novel drugs and medicine. Especially the dinoflagellates and diatom, as they produce the toxin, we can use that particular algal bloom forming diatoms to develop some new drugs or bioactive compounds against the deadly human diseases. And it's another important is algal blooms become integral component of CO2 sink, as I explained. Okay, and the diatoms is very particularly the diatoms actually. Nowadays, in the nanoscience and nanotechnology, diatoms become very popular because the diatom is made up of silica material. It's a biodegradable one. That diatoms can be used as a nano carrier, drug carrier, and it is also used in optics, photonics, and other different applications. So in this way, the algal bloom is doing good to the ecosystem or society. Okay. How long do algal bloom last? Once algal bloom comes, how long it will extend the algal blooms? Okay. Yeah. Once algal bloom comes, it will be remain as long as there are favorable conditions. The algal blooms will be remain till they get favorable conditions. When they get unfavorable conditions, immediately the algal bloom disappear. Then favorable conditions, what are the favorable conditions? The warm temperature, warm water, sunlight, and flow rates. Flow rates means the currents, wave action, which carry the nutrient. So when until they get favorable conditions like favorable temperature, favorable sunlight, favorable nutrients, the algal bloom will continue. And blooms can last from weeks to months. It is reported that once bloom comes, the blooms will be there for week or even for month. It is very difficult to control or predict the algal bloom. That is the major issue or major challenges faced by the algologists or marine biologists to control the algal blooms. Yeah, from here onwards, we can see what are the impacts reported in human being and also the animals and the marine ecosystem in general. Okay, yeah, as I said, you can see here, I don't know how much time I have to complete my lecture. Anyway, let me go fast. Yeah, as I said, when we consume the fish or finfish or shellfish which harvested from the place where the algal bloom is happened, if we consume the human being, we will get some healthy disorder. You can see here ASP, amnesic shellfish poisoning, that causative organism microalgae pseudonychia is a diatom. The toxin produced by pseudonychia when they form algal bloom is called domoic acid. When we consume the fish, shellfish, especially the shellfish, which is harvested from the bloom forming area, we will get this disease, amnesic shellfish poisoning. Here you can see these are some symptoms. Okay, for example, vomiting, abdominal cramps, diarrhea. These are dizziness, headache, seizure, disorientation, short-term memory loss. These are some symptoms or health impacts we are human beings are facing if we consume the fish which is harvested from the algal bloom occurring. That is called ASP, amnesic shellfish poisoning. Okay. Then another important disease, DSP, not Deputy Superintendent of Police, diuretic shellfish poisoning. This diuretic shellfish poisoning is not causative microalgae dinophysis and Froehlich syndrome is a dinoflagellates. The toxin produced by this algae during DSP is thoothukudi acid, and it will create some health disorder in human being. For example, you can see diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, abdominal cramps, and chillness. These are some health disorder or symptoms we will get if we consume the fish which is harvested from the bloom area. So these are the causative organisms. Okay. Then CFP, Cygotera fish poison. Actually, most of this algal toxin is caused by the shellfish, not by finfish. Shellfish like shrimps, crabs, gastropods, bivalves. We consume these harvested from the bloom occurring area, we will get most of the disorder. But only disorder so far reported is Cygotera fish poisoning. If we consume the fish, finfish, harvested from the bloom forming area, that the bloom caused by these are the species, and the toxin compound is cygotoxin or mycotoxin. It will create some disorder to the human being. For example, reversal of temperature sensation. It is very interesting to know this symptom. Reversal of temperature sensation. What is reversal of temperature sensation? If you touch hot water, if you feel cold. If you touch cold water, if you feel hot. This is a reversal of temperature sensation. It is caused by this disease, CFP, Cygotera fish poisoning. Similarly, muscular aches, dizziness, nervousness, sweating, numbness, tingling of the mouth and digits, and he is also paralyzed is also reported because of this disease. And these are the symptoms reported in human being because of CFP. Then NSP, neurotoxic shellfish poison. The disease causing organism is Carenia brevis. That is algae. This comes under the dinoflagellates. The toxin, brewtoxin. And if you consume the fish or shellfish harvested from particular area, we will get some health disorders, very particularly gastrointestinal and neurological disorder. These are among the microalgae species, this is very serious species. Carenia brevis, that toxin, when that algal bloom occurs in the marine ecosystem caused by the Carenia brevis microalgae, that toxic compounds will transmit through the air. It becomes aerosol. When we respire the oxygen, when you going the coastal area where the algal blooms occur, we will get some respiratory disorder, because this is very dangerous species which will which will become an aerosolic nature. Fortunately, this species not yet reported so far in India. It is reported in America. So this is aerosol toxic. Yeah, then the last disease is paralytic shellfish poisoning, PSP. It is caused by Alexandrium dinoflagellates. The toxin produced by this algae is oxytocin, and the disorder in human being, you can see here, itching, numbness, burning of the perioral region, ataxia, giddiness, drowsiness, fever, rash, and staggering. These are some health disorder. Actually, death is reported. Death is reported because of algal toxin or algal poisoning in a human being, but not much death is reported, but death is reported. Okay, yeah. So apart from human health disorder, what are the adverse effects caused by the microalgal bloom? And the very major issue is fish killing. If algal bloom comes, all fishes available in this particular area will die, and it will tons and tons of fishes will die, and it will wash ashore because of this fish kill. The billions of dollars the countries are losing their economy because the fishes are dying because of this the bloom, harmful algal bloom. So it produces toxin, and this toxin will transmit to the fish. All fish, not only fish, all marine animals will die. The reason is the toxin and anoxic due to lack of oxygen, due to suffocation. And another reason for fish kill and other marine kill is that the structure, that the spine-like projection or spine-like structures are just clogging in the gills of the fish. Because of this algal clog, it will prevent the oxygen respiration through the gills. So because of this reason, the fishes are killing. So this reason, due to this algal bloom, the tons and tons of fishes are dying, and we are losing our precious economy through the fisheries. And you can see this video, it is clearly shows that when algal bloom comes, you can see how the fishes are facing the suffocation. Because of anoxic condition due to lack of oxygen, the fishes are facing suffocation and dying. See how the fishes are suffocating due to lack of oxygen in a bloom occurring area. Yeah, you can see all fishes in particular area will die and float in the surface water. And other reasons, you can see it is, as I said, due to toxin transmission, and due to lack of oxygen, and due to the physical structure of the algae, it will clog in the gill, and due to this problem in respiration, the fishes are dying. You can see tons and tons of fishes are dying. It is in USA, a country like USA, it is very frequent algal bloom is happening, and they are losing valuable fishery resources. Not only fish, seabirds. The seabirds, as you know, when they are eating fish, suppose unfortunately, if eat the fish which is where the algal blooms occur, that toxin will transmit to the seabirds. The seabirds also, they are very prone to the algal toxin. So it is reported a lot of pelicans, seagulls, cormorants are death are reported because of algal bloom. Not only seabirds, mammals. Because the topmost predators such as whales, dolphins, the mammals also die because of algal bloom, because the toxin produced by microalgae, they are very, it is fat soluble. It is fat soluble. As the mammals are having more fat, the toxin toxic compounds will be accumulated in fat of the mammals, and one bad morning it will die because of toxic concentration. It is reported a lot of whales, dolphins, and even the other seals. These are the marine mammals actually dying because of what is called the algal toxin. And once algal toxin comes, it will create the anoxic condition, and it will spoil the water quality. If we use that water for aquaculture purpose, all our cultivable organisms can also kill because of toxin and also anoxic condition. So it is reported the food chain and food web. Okay, and you can see in the ocean due to this algal bloom. Once algal bloom comes, you can just touch the surface of the sea, you can get this much algal what is called mat like this. So turtles, dolphins, manatees, you can see dolphin through the food chain or the direct consumption of algae, toxin producing algae. Lot of sea turtles, marine mammals, sea lion, humpback whales or death are reported so far. Okay, and it very particularly in freshwater ecosystem. In freshwater, the algal bloom is caused by cyanobacteria, blue-green algae. Once bloom comes, it will create all unwanted issues. Fishes, fish kill, even pet animals, dog or domestic animals also can affect it when it contact with the water where the algal bloom is occurring. And also it affects the tourism. Once the algal bloom comes, when the algae die, that massive algal biomass die, no, when it die, it will create a bad water. It will create bad water. Because of this bad water and foam, the tourist people, they don't want to go to the beach as a tourism. So that because of this reason, it will create lot of economic loss. Okay, I can see these are some societal impact. So once algal bloom comes, it will create the foam-like substance, and it will create lot of fish kills in the shore. Okay, so these are the impacts. Okay, now let us see how to get rid of algal bloom, how to control or how to prevent or how to minimize or how to mitigate the algal bloom. Okay, so the only the possible way to control or prevent the algal bloom is not using a carburetor, reducing the use of detergent. Detergent is a source of nutrients which we are using in our bathing purpose or cloth washing purpose. The detergent is a good source of phosphorus and nitrogen. When it reach the sea, because of high nutrition, it will create the algal bloom. And minimizing impervious surfaces close to the sea, that is industries and domestic area, restaurants, which will directly discharge the waste, which will be a good source of nutrients, which will cause algal bloom. Controlling the use of fertilizer, the chemical fertilizer which we using in the agriculture field during monsoon or rainy season, it will wash to the shore or the sea. It will create the eutrophication condition and cause the bloom. Checking the septic system, that is our sewage system. That sewage water should be treated. The treated sewage water will be discharged to the system. Otherwise, it will create eutrophication and further algal bloom. So these are the, if we stop this, definitely we can control the blooms or prevent the blooms. How we can stop algal bloom? There are different ways. Okay, properly identify the algal species, bloom forming species, assess frequent analysis of water quality in the ecosystem, dispose of organic material should be stopped, and increase the oxygen production range, area, restore the aging shorelines. Okay, apply any bacteria, biological organisms which can control the algal bloom in the natural system. Yeah. So for that, no, there are different methods. What are the mitigative measures are there? What are the preventive or controlling measures are there for algal bloom? So there are different methods: physical method, chemical method, biological method, and other methods. But if you go ahead with the physical method or biological method, it is cost-wise not feasible and not environment friendly. If you use any chemical to control the algae, that chemical will be another unwanted pollution, and it also cost-wise very high. So physical chemical methods may not be a sustainable method to control the algal bloom. So that we have developed in our lab, we have developed some sustainable way of controlling measures. For example, biological methods. Let me explain. See, you can see this video. Sorry, this video is not working. Anyway, at the last, I will show this video. I have separate file. Yeah, using some magnetic nanoparticles. Actually, the microalgae, my student Dr. Balaji, he developed this technique with the help of a magnetic nanoparticle. He added the copper oxide nanoparticle with the algae. With the help of magnet, he can remove the microalgal blooms. And I will show you these are some result due to time constraint. Let me go fast. And you can also use the what is called yeah, you can see this is actually the chinnamaldehyde. We have chinnamaldehyde, you know, that chinnamaldehyde, if you had the chinnamaldehyde in microalgae, it will control the growth of the microalgae, further growth of the microalgae. Okay, so this is a biological material. Chinnamaldehyde is a biological material. And we also analyze the growth and how it is controlling the growth. We also analyze the optical density. So some nanoparticle, by using the magnetic nanoparticle, we can just observe the algae and it control the growth, and we can observe the algae from the natural system as like a vacuum cleaner. As like vacuum cleaner, we can develop some instrument which is made up of magnet. If you just apply the copper oxide nanoparticle in algal bloom, since the microalgae have plus minus charge, that copper oxide nanoparticle will attach with microalgae. By using the magnetic nanoparticle, we can just collect the algal biomass from the natural system, and we can use that biomass for the some biological applications. So you can see this is chinnamaldehyde. You can see using biological organisms like clam, bivalves. Bivalves, as you know, well, it is a biofilter organism, filtering organism, filter feeders. If you just inoculate the mussels, especially the green mussel or brown mussel, wherever algal bloom is occur, as it is a filter feeding organism, they can filter all microalgae, store it in their body, and convert it into useful product. So by using biological organisms, especially bivalves, green mussel, we can control the algal bloom. Okay, and these are some research how it can control the algae. And the last one is using barley straw. We have barley, no? That barley straw can have a tendency to control the algal growth. So wherever we have tested in the lab, even with 100-liter tank, we have created the algal bloom, and we have inoculated the barley straw in the tank, and we also maintain one control tank where no barley straw is added. So the tank where the barley straw is added as a just a floater, that all available microalgae will be absorbed by the barley straw and it control the growth of the microalgae. So it clearly shows that if you just apply the barley straw wherever the algal bloom is occurring in the marine ecosystem, it will control the growth of the algae so that we can mitigate the algal bloom and further adverse effect. So due to time constraints, let me go fast. So what I would like to conclude here, there is no doubt that microalgae is a good for ecosystem and also biodiversity. One way. Another way, when it becomes dominant. So in Tamil it is no, there is a word called alavukku adhigamanal amudamum nanthi. The protein is good for everything. When protein concentration is increased, they turn into toxin. So that we are telling food poisoning. The food is good. When overfeeding is turning into food poisoning. So that what I wish to conclude here, there's no doubt that algae is a basic nutrition or energy for entire organisms living in the marine ecosystem. When the algae become dominant, especially the dinoflagellates or some species of diatoms or blue-green algae, they can produce toxin when become dominant. So this toxin or harmful algal blooms should be stopped by implementing some biological methods, so that we can conserve our marine ecosystem. Okay, so how to stop this algal bloom event? The first and foremost, controlling strategy, creating awareness. We should create awareness among the public not to pollute the marine ecosystem, because the nutrients is a major causative factor of pollution. The nutrient source is industrial wastewater, domestic wastewater. So we should create awareness among the public not to pollute any water body, which will create the algal bloom, which will destroy resources. Second one is avoid past mistakes. Whatever mistakes we made past, that should be avoided. So what are the pollution or what are the or anthropological activities responsible for polluting the environment, that all mistakes should be stopped. Ambitious implementation of the conservation policies should be implemented. We need very ambitious conservation policies that should be implemented to conserve our mother nature. Otherwise, we will lose our precious resources. Greening the environment, that is the only way. Greening the environment by plantation. So as this is the botany department is organizing this program, the plant is a only solution to control the any pollution. So with the help of greening the environment, we can conserve our mother nature. We can manage our precious fishery resources. Eliminating pollution is the only way to stop or control the harmful algal bloom. Okay. So at last, I would like to mention here that we need political will. We need good political will and ambition. We need visionary leaders. We need a visionary leader who really work for nature, people, society. For example, the leaders like Periyar, Dr. Ambedkar, Kamarajar, Dr. Abdul Kalam, Mother Teresa, Mahatma Gandhi. We need at present we need visionary leaders, really who have a vision and a mission to do something, some good thing to the society and also nature, mother nature. We need to go from words to action for true conservation. We should do something. We should not stop with only talking. We should do something to the conservation of mother nature through our activities. As it is a botany students or botany faculty, we should plant one tree, one plant during our birthday time or anniversary time, which cumulatively we will create a very good forest which will control all these type of pollutions, so that we can escape from any natural disaster or man-made disaster. So with this, let me conclude. Ocean health is our health. There is no doubt. Ocean health is our health, because the ocean touches nearly every aspect of our lives, starting from oxygen production to the cheapest protein source available on Earth, fish. So starting from oxygen production, medicine, food, fodder, feed, energy, everything is there in the ocean. In the future is in the ocean only, because we have already overexploited the resources from the land, and in the future we are moving towards the ocean for our basic requirements. So there is no doubt that the ocean touches nearly every aspect of our lives, making it essential to the economic, social, and ecological well-being of everyone, everywhere. So we should conserve our precious ocean from this algal bloom, harmful algal bloom event. So the major culprit is human being. The human being is a major culprit, because we are polluting the environment. Because of pollution, the algal bloom is occurred. Because of algal bloom, we are losing our precious marine resources. Because each and every organism is equally important. We need our precious plant and microbes and animal resources. So this, let me conclude my lecture with saying acknowledgement to the people, those who invited me, particularly the authorities of this St. Mary's College, principal, secretary, and head of the Department of Botany of St. Mary's College, and the organizing secretary, convener, and all faculty members. And I should convey my sincere thanks to my own colleague and our head of the department, Dr. James sir, for giving me this wonderful opportunity. And last but not least, I should convey my sincere thanks to all the participants, those who are attending this workshop. With this, let me conclude my lecture. If you have any queries, any clarification, I will be happy to answer to your queries. So before interactive session, let me share that video. Actually, one of my students, he developed this technique using copper oxide nanoparticle. Let me share that video. Okay, sorry, I don't have this video in this folder. It may be in this folder. So, let me stop here. I'm very happy to answer to your
Okay, sir. Okay,
if you
sir.
have any queries. Very happy to answer.
Thank you, sir, for your lively presentation and for providing the important aspects of science that every biologist should be aware of. Dear participants, we will go ahead and take some time for question answer session. Now you can share your questions in the chat box or by unmuting your mic. Participants, you can ask questions now.
Otherwise, is there any question in chat box? You can read it so that I can understand.
Yes, sir, I am checking. Dear participants, you can put your questions in the chat box also.
Okay, madam. No more questions. No questions. Shall we?
Yes, sir, I think they don't have any questions. Okay, sir. So, just a minute, sir. We will end the program with a formal vote of thanks. Gratitude is the fairest blossom which springs from the soul, says Henry. First and foremost, I thank the Lord Almighty for blessing us with good health and ability to conduct this workshop. I would like to express gratefulness to our expert presenter, Dr. Santanam, for enlightening us with his expertise. I am confident that precious knowledge that Dr. Santanam imparted to us will definitely help us in our future. It was a pleasure to have you with us, sir. I would like to thank our Secretary, Reverend Sister Flora Mary, and Principal, Dr. Sister A.S.J. Lucia Rose, for their indefatigable support. I express my heartfelt thanks to our beloved HOD, Dr. Glory. I extend my gratitude to overall coordinator, Dr. Sister R.K. Genesius Alphonse, for her everlasting encouragement. I would like to express my thanks to the overall organizing committee members for their tireless effort in making today's event a successful one. I sincerely thank the faculty participants, research scholars from our college and other institutions for your patient participation, which adds more grace to this event. Once again, I thank you all.
अगर कुछ भी नहीं थोड़ा सा तो ले लो ये इसमें से लो चलो
Thank you, madam. Thank you for the opportunity given. Shall I?
बाद में बात करेंगे अभी रुक जाओ थोड़ा
Dear participants, we will post a feedback link in the chat box.
प्रियांशु इसमें से एक दो स्पून खा लो
Madam, shall I leave, madam?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir. Dear participants, before leaving from the meeting, please fill the feedback form, and we shall meet in the evening by 6 o'clock for the second session. The link will be shared in the group.
प्रियांशु खाओ यार, 1 स्पून खाओ। देखो मैंने ये स्कूल के लिए दिया है, एक बार चेक करो कैसा है। हाँ 2 स्पून ले आओ, एक मेरे लिए एक अपने लिए। पहले तुम ले लो तब हम स्टार्ट करेंगे खाना। अरे ये कब देगी फिर?